Hey guys, Chris here with the Good Old Gamer, here to give you my first impressions of Doom 2016. Pros of the game are the speed. The speed and the pacing of the game is actually very good. We all were kind of concerned with the Doom beta if the game was going to be too fast, too slow. Everybody was complaining one way or the other. I personally felt that it was pretty good, a little bit slower than your Unreal Tournament and Quake 4, but that's for multiplayer, and right now we're just going to be talking about the campaign. The speed and the pacing for the campaign is actually very good. It feels much faster than your standard first-person shooter that you're used to nowadays. It's much faster than Halo, probably kind of close to a Call of Duty game, but it's definitely a little bit faster than that, and it seems to really work with this game, which is nice because right out of the gate, you're right in the fight. They don't really waste their time. There is a little bit of a prologue, which gives you some hint to a deeper story with DOOMGuy, which I'll kind of go into that here in a minute. But you're thrown right into the action. Pretty much right off the bat, they give you a pistol, they give you a shotgun, and then they give you your armor, and you're just fighting bad guys straight away, which is great. Like I said, they hint at story right away by kind of glorifying the DOOMGuy like he was encased in something. Without ruining too much, he's going to be an overarching figure, which is really nice because in Doom, he's usually just some random guy just thrown into the events of, slaughtering demons, which never really made any sense. It looks like they're going to try and do something with DOOMGuy and actually give him a purpose or a role in the game, which is awesome. Another thing that I found really cool is the way that they do keycards in the game. I know it sounds basic, and, keycards and ways to open doors and unlock doors has been around forever, but it's kind of nice where you can actually go and get, yellow, blue, and red key cards again, and I don't know, maybe that's just nostalgia kicking in, but I really like it. You find it on the corpses of guys, and they're actually wearing yellow, blue, or red suits, which is kind of neat. So I guess that's just the designation of the areas. So it actually makes more sense than in old Doom, where it's like, well, why is this a blue door? I don't know. For me personally, I just found that to be a nice touch. The large battles early on, like I said before, are really cool. They don't really waste their time. Straight out of the gate, you're fighting 10, 12, 15 enemies right away. And what's also kind of nice is you're not just fighting them in the same room over and over again. May appear that way from the video because the battles actually do take a while to conclude. I mean, they keep spawning enemies at you, and you do fight for a pretty good bit. It's not just, okay, kill 2 or 3 guys and move on. They actually make use of their environments and force you to, utilize them, through verticality. You have to climb up to different areas to either take enemies out or to loot. But then you move on, and then the environments generally will change. You go from indoors to outdoors pretty seamlessly. You go through airlocks and whatnot. But unlike in Doom 3, you don't have to worry about getting oxygen, and you can just take your time and fight outside and on Mars and have a good time with it. It's actually a lot of fun. I do like the way that the color schemes and everything kind of change with each environment, even though you're essentially just on one space station. But it's kind of nice how they do that. Another cool feature is the progression system. You can unlock upgrades from killing demons just normally or doing special tasks before each mission. They'll give you kind of an idea of what they want you to do. It's either kill 2 guys with 1 shot or something like that, or kill X amount of guys with explosions. There are just several different ways that they throw this at you, and you can check that out anytime by hitting the tab button on the PC or probably start or something on Xbox or PlayStation. What this does is it gets you vested in your character. Like I said, it sounds like they're trying to really make DOOMGuy an actual person that you care about, and getting you personally vested in his abilities and what he can do, and giving you the options to really just beef up your character. It's not so much an RPG element. I mean, it kind of is, but it's a little hard to explain. But when you get in there and you actually play the game, you'll see that it's nothing crazy. It's just stuff like you can hold more ammo, or give your guy more shields, or make him reload faster, and just stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, but you can pick when you can have these. And for hardcore, old school first-person shooter fans, you don't have to use any of these things. You don't have to do any of these upgrades. And the game will be harder, of course, because you don't have any of them. Me personally, the only one that I've really used is increase my ammo capacity, but that's because you start off with such a low ammo capacity straight out of the gate. So to me, it's like finding a backpack, and this way you can just hold more ammo. Finally, the graphics in the game are very good. But what's more impressive is the performance. This is a good console port if you're playing it on PC. The game runs smooth. I have it running at all high details. I didn't push it to ultra because I run a 144 hertz monitor, so I try to get higher frame rate, and I'll sacrifice a little bit of graphic fidelity. But the game runs perfectly smooth, no issues at all, and it's running 8 times TXSAA or something like that. It's there's no jaggies at all, no shimmering. It's fantastic. The game's running generally between 70 and 110 frames per second right now. I could probably tweak the settings to get it a little bit higher, but honestly, it's butter smooth. The game runs fantastic, and with even weaker hardware, I'm sure this would still run just fine. Okay, so now it's time to go over some of the cons. Okay, one of the biggest things that's going to just hit you as soon as you start playing the game that personally I didn't like, and I don't think many other people will, are the glory kill highlights. It's very distracting, and it almost makes you feel like that you have to go and glory kill that character or that enemy right when it happens. Otherwise, you're just like, oh, okay, I missed something. Meanwhile, that can get you in trouble because you can still be attacked while you're doing these glory kills. So the first thing I recommend doing is just turn off the glory kill highlight. I started having a lot more fun once I turned that off. But one of the downsides to this effect is it's hard to tell when an enemy's actually dead or dying without, doing the glory kill. Because you're used to going in there and just punching them to death. You know they're dead at that point. But you just start shooting them and it looks like that the enemy's going to die. And sometimes they don't. Which leads me into my next thing is the hit detection, because there's been a couple of times that I thought I killed an enemy, turned my back to him to take on the rest of them, and I start getting wailed on from behind, and I didn't even notice. The hit detection in this game does not do a good job of letting you know that, hey, you're being attacked from behind or the side or, from range. You just don't really know until the game starts yelling at you going, hey, you don't have any health. You just go, what happened? Part of the reason why this is because the audio doesn't feel very balanced in the game. I think if they had some sort of audio cues that might help with that, or the fact that nothing really feels that impactful. This is probably the weakest aspect of the game. The weapons and the music just don't really have any pop. Now, if you go ahead and you play the original Doom, the music instantly grabs you. The weapons, they feel powerful. In this, it just feels like everything's muted. When you're fighting a bunch of enemies and they do cue up music, you can hear it in the background, but it's just like background elevator music. It's not in your face. Here you go. For example, like Serious Sam, if you've played that, where the war theme just comes on and starts blaring, it pumps you up and gets you into it. And then you hear, your chain gun and shotguns going off, and rocket launchers, and it's very impactful and loud, and like I said, it really pops. And unfortunately in Doom, the audio does not do that. Like I said, it almost feels like there's some big filter just muting everything. And this is probably the weakest aspect of the game, and it really does hurt the immersion and adrenaline pumping nature that Doom's really going for, because the game does a good job of that on its own, but it's really hampered by the fact that nothing from the audio side really wants to draw you in. Wearing headphones doesn't really help anything because you don't know where you're being attacked from, and the enemies, it just sounds like they're all around you all the time. So they really need to fix something with the audio so you can get, proper location of your enemies, make the weapons sound more impactful, make them pop a little bit louder when you fire a weapon, maybe jump it up a few extra decibels, and definitely crank up the music in the game. They really need to do that. Texture pop-in on the graphics side is probably the only real issue that I've seen. Some low-resolution textures. It's nothing too crazy. I mean, these are things that we tend to expect. But it's not like the whole game's low texture. It's just like one here and there. It might seem a little out of place. But honestly, I don't really see that being a big deal. And the texture pop-in is definitely better than the old id Tech engines where it would happen very frequently, or the old Unreal Engine 3. In this game, if it happens, it's very rare and it's very quick. So overall, my impressions of the game right now are good. I think it's a very good game. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely an enjoyable single-player first-person shooter experience. The biggest surprise to me is I'm enjoying the actual story, which, like I said, it's not big or deep, but I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with DOOMGuy. DOOMGuy's becoming a central character. They're trying to develop almost like a mythos around him, and it's really drawing me in. I thought it was going to be the gameplay, the action, just run around killing everything. I thought that was going to be plenty for me. And honestly, it probably would be if it wasn't for the audio issues that I just went over that just don't allow you to be sucked in and grabbed like the game really wants you to be, and that the game really should do. So to id Software, you really need to fix that audio. But I'm very interested to see how they develop the DOOMGuy character and what sort of avenue they want to take. The protagonist in the game, or not the protagonist, the antagonist of the game is very similar to the evil doctor guy in Doom 3. I don't remember his name, but it seems like a very similar kind of story arc, but they're telling it much better. I'm more interested in this character than the other guy who just seemed like a creepy doctor, and, it seemed very old 80s or 70s sci-fi movie, just cheesy kind of thing in Doom 3. In this, they're doing a very sleek, a very modern approach to it. And I don't want to spoil anything. That's why I'm being vague here, guys. But it's actually interesting. I want to see what's going to happen next. I actually want to see what's going to happen next more than just want to blow off, cyber demons' heads, which is the exact opposite effect that I thought this game was going to have on me. So at this point, whether or not you should go out and buy the game, I would probably wait until I can get up a full review, which will probably be a few days because I want to enjoy the multiplayer and mess around with Snap Map and check out a whole bunch of the other features of the game to see if it's a complete package. But to id Software, you really need to enhance your audio in this game. It's really killing me that I can't tell where I'm being attacked from just by listening with headphones, with high-quality headphones, by the way. The music, my heart should start racing, and I should be running around like a maniac when the music pops on, but I can barely hear it. Like I said, it just feels like there's just either too many filters on there, or the audio levels are just too low. And crank up the decibels on the weapons, guys. I want my eardrums ringing every time I shoot the shotgun. I want that impactful bass of the weapons because it just doesn't feel like it's there, guys. To everybody else, if you're interested in playing the game and you like first-person shooter campaigns and you're a big fan of like Serious Sam and more modern, just run and gun, Shadow Warrior would be another good one where you just kind of go around, you murder stuff. Story, well, like I said, it's actually looking like that might actually be a good part of the game. So normally I would say don't be expecting too much story, but I can't really say at this point. But I can definitely say if you like running around and killing stuff, you'll be all right. But honestly, for most people, I would say wait till you can get your hands on a full review. And don't believe people that have them out in, a day or so. Anything more than a couple first impressions, up until I'd say probably Monday, aren't going to be too complete because the game just came out. Reviewers didn't get any early copies. So just go ahead and wait until people have full-fledged reviews with snap map details, with full-on multiplayer details, custom map details. These are all things I'm going to try out, and I can let you guys know how those work out. So I would probably just hold off if I were most people. If you're a diehard Doom fan, well, just go ahead and buy it. I mean, the game's fun. You will enjoy it. But if you're not a diehard first-person shooter or Doom fan, it's probably worth waiting to see if this is the right game for you. All right, guys, this is Chris with The Good Old Gamer. I'm going to get out of here. If you like our videos, we're a new channel. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't like about the videos, so I can go ahead and change and fix that for you guys. I do this just because I really enjoy getting information out there to people that in a way that I think most reviewers don't do. There's a couple good YouTubers out there, but there's just not enough people that just talk about a game. Just give it to you straight. Most people have some sort of financial motive. I have a full-time job. I'm just doing this to try and help you guys out. So if you have any questions, suggestions, please float them my way. And like I said, subscribe the video to our channel. That really helps me out. Lets me know, hey, you guys are interested, and this way I can keep making this stuff for you. All right, guys. Hope you have fun fragging. If you got the game, I'll see you online. And if you don't, like I said, just wait for reviews and see if this game's right for you. All right, you guys have a good night.